Good morning, everybody. We can start. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, just asking you to watch over this meeting today, be with all our citizens of the county as they go about their lives throughout the week. In Jesus' name.
All right, good morning, everybody. I will make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from last week and the meeting minutes from the special meeting.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Make a motion, we pay the claims in the amount of $140,451.
I'll second. Motion been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
David, do you anything right off the bat? All right, I'll look at the sheriff report. Total prisoners in 61, 10 released this past week. Total prisoners in was 58. Total farmed out was 2. Total farmed in was 43. Total 911 calls 85. Total jail contacts is 4,937. Total calls for service is 581. Total civil service papers served 37. 7 VIN inspections, 31 new cases opened, 9 cases closed, 9 vehicle crashes, 58 SRO activities, 159 bailiff contacts, and 1 livestock out. Doesn't look like Randy's here either, huh? I got an email from Randy. He's taking care of some things this morning. He says the plan for the SUVs is take one in Blue Mountain, Mountain City out of service. We'll be moving the larger SUV from Lacine to Mountain City for the purpose of pulling the larger boat that is stationed in Mountain City. Blue Mountain and Lacine will get the smaller SUVs. The new tender is in the county. We will be servicing it and making sure all the equipment is on before we put it into service. I plan on having it next week meetings for the commission and public to see. So if you want to see our new tender that Randy had purchased, it'll be here next week.
And then did you get the fire calls too?
Yeah. Looks like there was a total of seven calls last week. Brings total up to 374 calls for the year. AMR.
Good morning, Don Brooks with AMR. I've got the monthly report for November 1st through November 11th. Blue Mound had 9 calls, 2 transports. Centerville had 3 calls, 1 transport. Lacine, 10 calls, 6 transports. Fontana, 1 call, 1 transport. Linn Valley, 4 calls, 3 transports. Mound City, 7 calls, 5 transports. Parker, 7 calls, 4 transports. Pleasanton, 17 calls, 8 transports. Prescott, 3 calls, 1 transport, for a total of 61 calls and 29 transports. Any questions for me?
I don't know.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So I sent you a couple of contracts. Chastity is here, so when we do an executive session with her, we might want to talk about some of that before it's approved.
Yeah.
But Darren's on that part-time work he's doing. Sent it to him this weekend. He was fine with it. He's already signed it, so if that one looks all right to you guys, we have a motion to enter into that contract.
So we have all agreed on an agreement with Darren Wilson, our planning and zoning director, our old one. He is volunteering to work with us for a total of up to 10 hours.
A week.
A week, yeah, 10 hours a week for $26 an hour until to help us move forward with getting a new director and helping train them and keep up on permits and things like that. So
If you notice the way I put that in there, I did a 6-month or until planning and zoning director is hired. And I don't know if that was kind of what you were looking for, but he seemed to be all right with it. And I think I put in there, it could be canceled by either party with 2 weeks notice.
Okay. So
I'll make a motion to approve this contract with Darren for up to 10 hours per week at $26 per hour with no benefits, just as needed.
I'll second. Motion been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And just to give you a heads up, when you get payroll sheets to look at next week, you're going to see more than 10 hours the first week. But that was, he delivered voting equipment, so it was stuff he was working for me, not on that job. That was the extra hours.
Oh yeah, and thank you for everybody that, and David and everybody that's helped with all the voting polls and stuff. It sounded like we had a pretty good turnout, David.
We did. It was around 5,100 total. Total that we've counted yet. We've got 176 provisionals that I'm still going through, and then some that need to be hand counted because they wouldn't scan. There's like half a dozen of them, so we'll actually be up close to 5,300 by the time we get everything counted. It's big turnout. I'm not sure what the most we've ever had is, but it's got to be pushing up there close.
Good. I know when I went, there was a lot of people and a lot of workers that volunteered their time. So thank you guys for everybody that pitched in and helped with that. And congratulations to everybody that won on that election. So is that all you had, David, for now?
Yeah.
Chris, you ready?
Sure. I need to request 5 minutes in the session for not so.
Okay. Gets taken care of. What else do we have? I guess that's it, right? Besides Sean.
Yeah, and I'd say if you do get ready to do personnel, I think we'll want to meet with Chastity for a while with one too. So whenever you're ready to do that stuff.
What do you want on that, David? 10?
I
15?
don't know. I mean, we want to kind of look at the proposed contract and some things to discuss. Maybe 15. I don't know. I don't know how long it'll take.
We'll do 15. We'll start with 15. I'll make a motion that we go in executive session for a total of 20 minutes, 15, or a total of 20 minutes, non-elected personnel, 15 with Chastity, Ware, and 5 minutes with Chris.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, next question, where are we going for that?
Do they already have that set up for her in there?
I believe so.
Okay. What we're gonna have to do, guys, is we're rearranging this building. So we're gonna actually have to have everybody step out of here for a little while, because we're gonna have to do executive session in this room for now until we get everything set up. So So at this time, we'll ask everybody just to exit, and we're going to shut these doors, and we'll start with Chris. last week that we're gonna start doing that. It's kind of
Okay.
like just a-
I just don't want to come in here and I start asking questions and people are like, who the hell are you, lady? I don't need to have a heart on my back. But yes, I looked under just the business stuff alone. There's businesses that should not be on there because they've not been in business for a while and there's businesses not.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
About the next and last one.
A lot of shit, a lot of thoughts.
And you know what, we can talk now because I know.
She's good at
Good.
all the city.
11 o'clock. Now, to say all, no, half of them have signed it. The ones that haven't signed it, that have questions are coming.
So half of them signed it and is good with it.
Yes. One HOA, Tanglewood, Pleasanton, Blue Mound, and Lacine, as far as I know, are the ones that are coming. And Pleasanton may not be able to show, they had asked about bringing members of their rescheduling at the later date. Sure, a lot of it has to do with environment.
What is the McCray lady that's economic development of Miami County?
What's
McCray is her last name. What's her first name? You remember? And she,
economic development, Miami County? I'd have to look it up.
okay, I don't know.
I'm great with faces, terrible with names.
Yeah.
All right, so I do have the reprinted one if you want to get that.
You gonna let the people come back in or
Oh, yeah.
I told AMR standing out there, but I didn't see anybody else, so I don't.
anybody else left?
What have we done so far? Have we done any director reports?
Well, yeah, we've done AMR, fire
Yeah, I think we'll probably be ready for
for him. Yeah.
Sean when we get going again, or
We
yeah.
figured we'd just have Jesse go and then I'd go, that way you wouldn't have me, him, back and forth, but I'll go grab it.
So did you guys want to go ahead and sign that contract?
Yeah, that's fine.
Done?
Me.
Yep. We did have, are we back on?
Yeah.
We did have action from executive session. I'll make a motion that we enter into to an agreement with Chastity Ware for our Economic Development Director for up to 40 hours a week at a base salary of $57,461. She will be deemed as an exempt employee under the county personal policy and will be ineligible for cure sick time or sick leave, vacation leave. No insurance, right?
Yeah, that's in there too.
And she's
No insurance.
she's not taking insurance, so. And she will be reporting directly to the Board of Commission every Monday. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Just it.
All right, and I'll catch her. a little bit and Get her to sign.
Is that it? Yep. All right, Jesse.
Jesse Walton, Operations Manager for the Road Department. It's like the cost summary by location was sent to you. I've been over that, looked through it, and highlighted some of the roads that we've spent quite a bit of money on this last part of the year, going through and figuring out where that cost came from, what we were doing. Looks like a lot of them were ditching and culvert replacements, maintenance on those roads where the cost was higher. Road service requests from beginning of the year to current: 491 received, 460 closed, 31 currently open. Road foreman service requests received this week: 6 received, 3 closed, 3 currently open. There's actually just 1 currently open there on that one. The other ones were closed out on Friday. Activity cost report by location from April to current is attached. 976 road worked equals 77% completed on that. The South Shop this week, they tested their spreader beds and plows on 2 of the trucks. They're in the process of removing the lift cylinder on 306 to have it rebuilt. They've been ditching and blading the roads, prepared for a couple of tube replacements that are happening this week. We've got 3 that are going to be replaced. We're working on one this morning out there by Centerville. North Shop, we've been out blading roads, fixing minor washouts due to the rainstorm. Been mowing daily throughout the week. Pleasanton, they've had multiple pieces of equipment that needed repairs. They got 207 put back together, which is their dump truck, is back into service. They've had 3 pieces of equipment that needed tire repairs. One was their boom mower. The valve stem got broke off. They got it put back together and got that tire back up and going. The blades have been out fixing roads this week. We've addressed some of the issues that's been going on there in those areas of roads that needed bladed to fix the problems that were there. On Wednesday, tomorrow, we have a meeting with Chad, the engineer out here on 900 Road. We're going to go meet with him tomorrow afternoon, get a game plan together, get that project wrapped up and out of our hair. We also have a meeting on tomorrow with Brad Ost on the 1350 Road project to go through and see what's going to be the best scenario to get that fixed up so we don't have as many problems out there on that, just so you're aware of that. So when that's all done, I'll be in next week, tell you what we've discussed, what we're going to do to fix those 2 issues that we have out there. Any
This is the
questions?
first time engineers been here to see the tube float.
Correct. Yep. He's been out of town, so he's back in town. I did get a hold of him Thursday, and he said Wednesday was a good day for him to come out and look at that. So, any questions for me?
How's everything going? I mean, the transition to how we're going to start doing things, is everything going smooth?
It's a transition. We're working through it, getting through it. So
Is there anything we can do to help you make it smoother? Is everything going all right?
everything is going good so far. We're just slowly implementing things in and changing things up. So far things are going well.
And the tractor was 350 hours. I see that.
Yeah, correct. Yep. We called and got that confirmed that it was 350 hours. So we put the mower back on and got it back out and mowing.
So did you get any input on if we should keep doing that for next season or?
I think it's a good thing that we've done. I thought a lot about it, and I think it's something I think we could do again next year to do that again. It's a tractor that we don't have to work on.
I would like to look at the number of miles of road we mowed. I mean, it don't have to be done now, but to look at what we did
Right.
and look at the cost of what the equipment we had sitting there, as far as looking back at the tractors,
Right.
see what the repairs cost us on the hours we put on the other tractors.
Right. So we haven't had in the north area, we haven't had a lot of breakdowns on our mow tractors. I mean, if anything, it's like a hydraulic hose just from normal wear and tear and servicing the tractor, and that's it. As far as down here, I don't know what all their service repairs were on the mow equipment, but
They don't have
that's
to right now, but we got the spring that, you know.
right. And that's something I'm looking into on that. What did it cost us to fix these things? Because there's some mowers that we did spend some time on to get them up and going and fixed a lot of problems so we could use them. So, but that has been a concern of mine because downtime, you're not progressing here.
Is it
Not
is that
getting-
something with those mower contracts for the season? Is it something that you can enter into winter and not get until, until season and get a better price, or how do they do that?
I don't think so. I think it's just like a type of deal that John Deere actually put that out there for the government entities that, for the 350 hours.
Yeah.
So that's probably, is that something you're going to look into those tractors, see if it's worth just repairing, getting rid of them, and then replacing them with?
Right. So there's going to be some things I'm going to bring in, things that we need to get rid of. See if there's things that we can purchase new to put back on the equipment we have that's in decent shape, stuff we don't need to trade out. And there's stuff that I would like to get rid of.
I don't think I have a whole lot for you. I know you got a lot going on in the transition, and so I appreciate everything you're doing. And Jim, you got anything for him?
I don't have any.
Okay.
Sean West, Public Works Administrator. While we're on tractors, we had one tractor down at the south shop that we originally got, your consent to repair, and the cost was, I believe, just over $8,000. And now, because those used parts, when they went to pull them off the other tractor, were unserviceable, we are back to the original full price, and full estimate on that vehicle or on that tractor, which is going to be, I believe it's in the neighborhood of $14,000.
What's it worth?
I believe we discussed that, and it's worth about 65.
Is it an older tractor, or is it?
Is it what is it? Is that a Ford or New Holland?
It's a New Holland tractor.
Wasn't there something wrong with the New Hollands here years ago? Was it the brake systems or something? You guys, was that before?
This is the whole rear. What is it?
Do you
Did
remember
they
that?
put it back together? I see the wheels back on it.
Well, I had to put the wheel back on. There's no reason to leave it on a jack stand out there. It's the PTO shaft that's out on it, on there. They've just been rough on it, and that's what needs replaced, is that back in there in the rear end where the PTO is. It's wallered out the bearing, so the bearing's no good, and a couple of the sleeves in there. So it's something I would like to get fixed. Even if we don't keep the tractor, we sell it, we'll get our money back selling that tractor if we put it back together.
Anything on that? You good?
I'm good with fixing it. You gotta fix it. I thought we was fixing it. I mean,
Well, we were going to fix it, but the used parts that they sold us, they went to pull out of the tractor and they were shelled out. We tried to cut costs by putting used parts into it and bringing down the cost of the repair, and it didn't work out for us. So if you're going to approve up to, at this point, not having the quote in front of me, if you'd approve up to 16 on repairs on it, if it changes, I'll bring it back to you.
that's 2 leased tractors right there.
So if it's fixed, you think, what will we get out of it? If we fix it and end up selling it, I mean, is there anything else wrong with it that's going to cut our price down on what we're going to make out of it?
No, that's the only thing that's wrong with it is the PTO shaft in there. I think we just fix it, and we've got several pieces of equipment we can put on whatever to sell them and move forward.
What do you think, Jim?
I think it'd be better fixed myself if he's gonna sell it. I know you, I,
You're the tractor guy.
I would say it'd be better off if it was fixed and operable to sell it.
So up to 16,000. What's the piece, what is it called? What's the New Holland, what?
I don't have the number of the tractor, but it's one of our New Holland four-wheel drive tractors,
Out of this shop here in Mound
out
City?
of South Shop, yes.
Yeah, and are we talking about drive parts, or
Yeah, it's driving PTOs.
if you can
PTO.
approve up to 16,000 for driving PTO parts for a New Holland out of the South Shop, we'll get it taken care of.
I'll make that motion, what Sean stated about the New Holland, up to 16,000 to get it repaired.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved, second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Why did we have the wheel off of it? What was it?
So they had borrowed our tractor from the North Shop when that tractor went down, and they had punctured the sidewall on our tractor up there. And so they took that tire off to go put it on so we could keep mowing. And then we got tires switched back around. So
Should have had note that, we got our discharge permit application and renewal approved for Centerville sewer system through the state. And I'm also working on, reapproving several other, permits through the state as far as fuel storage, at this time. But the Centerville sewer system has been reapproved for the next 12 months. You've got a rock price list you should have got from Hams. We met with Scott.
no, it was the other sales rep. Probably got his card on like this.
Okay. We met with sales rep for Hams this last week, and they gave us the new price list for 2025. Although prices were going up 10%, we only went up 7%. Although you can see that even going up 7%, some of the prices compared to the other queries are considerably higher. But at this point, unless we have other options, or you direct me not to go to that query for those items, transportation is going to eat up everything else. So we're just going to have to use our common sense when it comes to how much we're paying per ton and how much we're driving and eating fuel and cutting, time down to get the material we're needing from the differences in the two queries. Any questions about the price list or?
I'm glad we reached out to him.
We met with them, and as you'll see, there's an acceptance on the lower left. They wanted a received acknowledgement that we received that, although it says accepted, and I did initial and sign saying that we'd received their new price list for the year. As far as accepting it, it's a one-way offer. If we have contention with it, that'd be something you'd have to tell me to object to, and I would have to make objection in writing to and argue that. But again, I don't know that we have any standing at this point to argue it any more than what we have.
Well, I think a little bit of discounts is better than none. So, I mean, have we reached out to one here in Mound City?
Hams,
Oh, is the
Whitaker.
Whitaker, I'm sorry, yes. I've been in contact with Whitaker
okay.
as well.
Is he going to veer away from his? Is he doing any price increases or anything?
I don't know. He hasn't given us any price increases for next year, but he is not varying from his one price services all customers.
You good with this, Jim? I don't know what
I don't
else.
know what else you can do about it. It's a price. If we choose to use it or not.
I'll make a motion that we accept the price increases from ham companies as stated on this sheet.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Randy Purdue has published the project with the Linn County News. You may have noticed that, having been published. That project is our tipping floor project. It has been pushed out to our paper of record in the county.
Where else is he sharing that?
He is reaching out to contractors and advertising that project. He simply wanted to make sure we hit the legal basis by publishing here.
But he's gonna go to like blueprint pages, like KC Blueprint,
Yeah.
things like that.
He's going to push it out to other projects, but that's the legal advertisement for our project and the let dates. And they will bring the project in after it's letted, and make their proposal to you.
Which company is he with, Sean?
Purdue should be
Call Valley.
Call Valley.
How long is he gonna let that run? Oh, December 11th. Okay, until 1.
Yeah, one on a December 11th.
But we're sure he's sending out the bid sites to hit all types of contractors.
He's telling me he's pushing it out as hard as he can to get as many bids as possible, but he wanted to make the legal requirement by publishing it here as well. The next thing I had for you was last week we discussed Tony Malini and Terracon and the scope of service for the groundwater testing for the 30-year testing at the solid waste facility. I reached out and in writing got an answer back from him. Thanks for submitting our request to the commissioners. In response to the county's request, the attached work supplement will be the last supplement to complete the 2024 groundwater monitoring event work and submit the report to KDHE on behalf of the county. Hopefully, the KDHE will accept the report and eliminate the groundwater monitoring requirement for the county. However, given the turnover at KDHE staff, inconsistency of reviews, and comments from KDHE, we cannot predict their response or requirements may be to our findings. Should KDHE request additional analysis or response to comments, they may have additional funds may be required. We'll have to evaluate the level of effort to respond to the comments if required, should we receive KDHE comments. Hopefully, we'll receive approval to terminate the monitoring requirements, and the county will be done with the groundwater monitoring. Let me know if you need anything else for approval of the supplemental agreement. We appreciate your help on the project.
So they're saying that they can't give us a price because their staff turnover and their inconsistency?
No, what they're saying is KDHE has turnover and inconsistency, and they cannot predict what question they may ask them to go get or
It's not like
answer.
state requirements. How's that our fault?
I cannot answer that. I mean, you and I both heard what I read. And as far as ground watering or water monitoring, this is the first time that I've been involved in one other than just a 5-year. So this is the first time that I've been involved in one that we're asking them to discontinue. So what requirements or what things they might ask or the turnover and the things that they could come up with, I have no clue. Basically, what I'm hearing from Tony is if things go well and things go the way they should, this should end this project. There should be no more other supplements or requests or scope of service changes. But he's not going to eliminate with the changeover and turnover at the state, the possibility that somebody could throw us a curveball.
They're asking for $1,750 more, wasn't it?
That is correct.
They bid the job to do, and now they want 17.
It is, they're, I guess I'm just gonna confuse that. Are their requirements not written by like a statute or something that they base it off of? I mean, I don't understand why we have to give them $1,700 because KDHE can't get their crap together. What's that got to do with us?
Well, I think you'll see that the reporting requirements and the timeline for the actual field work is why the $1,700. I don't think any of this has anything to do with anything KDHE changed. I think this is actually time on the ground and time for required reporting that they're asking for extra funds for. Now, they are not eliminating the possibility that KDHE could throw them a curveball and they could come back to the well and ask for more funds for that. But what they're asking for here has nothing to do with any changes at
So
KDHE.
he's saying that 17 whatever is his last ticket unless KDHE ask another question, he has to go back to him. I don't,
If KDHE says the plan you submitted doesn't answer all our questions and you're going to have to go through and submit these other documents and spend the time to answer these questions, then obviously if it required field work or administrative time, they would change the scope
For
of it.
more information to get this to where we're at from what they bid it at.
I could not answer that question.
They did the job.
yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, that,
And I mean, I can see if we take it to KDHE now and they say we need more than what they bid the first time, I can see maybe we have to pay more, but I don't see why we have to pay more this time to get the information we asked for off their bid.
so the 1,700's for like field work, you said on there,
It listed out, yes.
which should have, in my opinion, should have been built.
Should be filled
Built
in
into the-
administrative work listed out there. And as far as the contractual,
It says additional groundwater monitoring, additional project management. I mean, so what was their, are, the original, how many original hours did they have on this, the original project before they submitted this change order? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. There's no rhyme to a reason of why. We don't even know what their beginning, their scope was for, or their original scope was for. I how do we know what we're paying for?
I feel that they bid the job to give us the information that we got. We never asked for anything different. What their requirements was, and I don't know that KDHE has asked for anything different than what they bid the first time, have they?
not that I'm aware of, but
I mean, it was an unforeseen.
I would have to ask for an accounting breakdown of that bill in order to answer that. And if that's what I need to do is just to ask for a breakdown of the services provided for that bill, then I can ask for that. But it would have to be compared to the contract, and that would probably be a legal question as to whether or not they've provided any other services above and beyond the original contract.
Do we have a copy of the original contract?
Original scope of service that you signed is going to not only be in David's records, but should be in mine as well for that original scope. Because it would have been done here. And as I recall, it was done right after a meeting that Tony sat here and explained the project.
So the original scope of service says it's, report may provide the basis for the county to apply for termination of groundwater monitoring program. And the total approved budget to complete the task is $12,500. And it says it's within the general accordance with proposal PO 1247029, dated March 26, 2024. Yeah, I'm just confused on how. Did they estimate it wrong? I don't know. Have we turned anything into the state already to make them come back to us for additional pricing to be included? I mean,
Again, I'd have to get a itemized breakdown in order to answer those questions. I'm trying not to guess at what you're asking because I sent out that
Yes,
detail.
we need more information, to know exactly what they had to do from what the original contract said. It's,
And that's what I asked for and what he explained. But as far as any more details, we'd have to get a breakdown of the billing.
it says additional labor and mileage exceeds estimates. Well, did they not come out to our property and evaluate it before they gave us a price to do this?
They came out and evaluated, yeah.
That's not how, I can't, I can't bid a job like that. The homeowner is going to turn me away really fast. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense. There was an error in their estimating is what it sounds like to me, and they're trying to come back to us and get pricing. I mean, that's what I see here.
my question is, have they turned anything into KDHE from their original bid to require more work on their behalf?
You're wanting to know if what they turned in, KDHE required or sent back a request for more.
Off of their initial bid, I want to know if KDHE has
Ask-
required any more work from the initial bid.
Ask for anything above and beyond what they were initially bid.
Because the 12,000 covers the termination of the groundwater monitoring program. So did they already complete that and then turn it into the state, and the state comes back and says, we need more of
We need
this?
more information, and that's where we're getting the $1,750 charge.
Okay. Along with that question, do you want an itemized billing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt at all. Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. I'll reach out to them, ask that question, and get an itemized billing for it. At 11 today, we're going to have a meeting with Lacine, Blue Mound, Pleasanton, and as I understand it, Tanglewood in reference to compactors. Everyone else has signed the agreements, but these towns or lake communities have specific questions about the agreement and responsibilities of the entities involved. Container truck, we had one breakdown. We had one being repaired at the south shop for a roll-off truck, and then we had one breakdown in Allen County, and it looks like the rear end went out of it. They put it on low boy and brought it back last week. So it too is going to have to go into the shop for repairs. I don't know at this time that it's worth as we look at this project, how close we're getting to bidding the tipping floor project. Do we want to start buying new equipment that is part of that plan, or do we want to wait for that plan to take effect before we buy equipment? I do not know the answer to that. That would be a decision for the commission, but you do need to consider we need to commit those ARPA funds, and we need economic development to make contact with our contact for the ARPA funding, and we need to commit those ARPA funds to that project. We don't have to spend them out for, I believe, what is it, another 12 months or something afterwards? But we do need to commit those funds to that project if that's where it's going, and that's going to have to be done rather quickly.
Yeah, because that has to be done by the end of this year.
So do we have a groundbreaking date on the transfer station itself?
As far as a groundbreaking, no, I don't. We've got projections on a timeline of when we're going to get the bids, open those bids, select a contractor, and then at that point, we'll come up with a timeline. But as far as committing those ARPA funding to this project, that would be, are we committing those funds to this project, or are we committing those funds to the expansion in the C&D project, or are we committing part to one, part to the other? That's going to be something we need to sit down and have a discussion on and commit that money and notify the ARPA fund holders of where that money is going to be committed to and where we're going to spend it.
So do we need to sit down and go over how we're going to, or which one we're going to do first, the expansion of the cell or the transfer station, or get tentative dates, or what do we need to sit down and get a lot of these things lined out?